Tartarian Empire, which was once all over the world, is now nothing but a lost civilization. Some say it was wiped away by the New World Order in a massive genocide, while others believe it's a fringe conspiracy theory with no backing to it. All the evidence I've examined tells me that Tartaria did exist, and that the powers that be spent a lot of energy, money, and power in getting us to believe it never did. The framework of our fundamental beliefs has been built upon a massive lie. And this orchestration of our false history has in turn created an oppositional force that assumes its core identity is being attacked when presented with the findings in these films. The information to follow is not to attack, it's to unravel. In a very real way, generations have been programmed to see the world inaccurately. And with tools such as MKUltra, there is a sector of our public that will fight to the death for what they believe without ever questioning it. My job is to provide you with information that will assist in the unraveling of what may very well have been the greatest psychological operation known to man, a worldwide psyop on humanity, or as Morpheus puts it,
a prison for your mind.
In a very real way, the Matrix is what we're living in, and the powers that have created our world are fighting tooth and nail to keep it theirs. Because of the internet, information has spread just as fast as the cancer that has grown to enslave humanity. Information is vital to knowing who we are, where we come from, and where we're headed. You might ask, how do we escape this matrix? With knowledge and information. By discovering the truth shall set us free. I invite you to explore the hidden truths of our history so that it may unlock the infinite possibilities of our greater tomorrow. This begins now, by uncovering what was once and will be again, the great Tartarian Empire. Tartaria, originally pronounced Tartaria without the first R, is the name of the pre-Mongolian empire that originated in northern Asia before spanning the entire northern hemisphere. Great Tartaria was the largest empire during its time and would still have been the largest empire today.
The sphere on the outside tips over as I stir, and we can therefore run round corners in accordance with our tip.
Tartaria, a once thriving civilization that exemplified the pinnacle of greatness and potential of humanity, is no longer present today. But its vestiges have been left behind as clues and crumbs for future generations to discover and question what happened. Tartaria had some of the most brilliant, fascinating, and powerful spiritual beings. With their extraordinary way of being, they invented and discovered technologies that would make them appear like futuristic travelers that landed in a distant past. Their culture was robust and magnificent, their government equally as so. It consisted of independent nations ruled by qualified princes, elected by local council of wise men and counseled by women. Their territories had flags, maps, and most notably their architecture, which remnants still exist today, proved that modern technology advancements are nothing in comparison to what they built. Not only because of its beauty, but because of the fact that their buildings were made to capture and distribute free energy all over the world. Could you imagine our world today if it had free energy? Could you imagine free means of travel anywhere at any time? How about free healing in a world where disease was unlikely? It's difficult to imagine because we live in a world where massive corporations are dependent upon charging us to receive what God has already gifted us. Gas, electricity, medicine, food. If you control energy, you control the people, and you control the world. How did it get this way? Before we explore more of the brilliance of Tartarian technology, let's visit our recent past to first understand how Tartaria was erased from history and who were the ones doing it. We'll start at the beginning of the end, the 18th century, when the Romanov Empire conquered many Tartarian territories, leading to the creation of the United States. And lastly, their massive effort to hide and erase Tartaria from humanity's conscious collective. The Tartarian Empire, thought to have belonged to just Eastern Russia, actually inhabited most, if not all, of the world. The Tartars, as they were known, carried their vast empire from Russia, China, to even the Far East, the Americas. North America, to be specific, was an extension of the Siberian American horde, also known as Moscow Tartary. You see, Tartaria's territories were everywhere, and they were labeled as such: Petite Tartary, Eastern Tartary, Russian, Moscow, Chinese, and Mongol Tartary. Moscow Tartary was completely conquered by the Romanovs in the middle of the 19th century. The Romanov name is due to their claimed descent from the Roman Empire, as they saw Moscow as the third Rome. The Romanovs were in control of Russia for just a few centuries and ended in the early 20th century at the hands of Bolshevik secret police who captured and murdered the Russian Tsar Nicholas II along with his entire family. Taking over Moscow Tartary, which the Romanovs eventually did, made them a world superpower. The conflict between Moscow Tartary and Romanov Russia ended in the second half of the 18th century with the famous Peasant War against Pugachev. Pugachev was the leader of a series of successful rebellions against the Russian Empire during the reign of Catherine the Great. At this time, the Romanovs strived to conquer the Siberian American horde at all cost. They understood very well that the Russian people didn't support them, and many would prefer the regime of Tobolsk to the Romanovs. Tobolsk was the center of Russian colonization of Siberia when an ally of the Tsar of Tobolsk, Turkey, signed a peace treaty with the Romanovs. They essentially betrayed Pugachev and the Siberian army.